It's Toretto, Brian. It's always been Toretto. What's going on, guys? I finally get to see the 1 through 12 episodes of Erased, or as Japanese translation, I'm going to butcher it, but prepare yourself. Boku Daki ga Unai Machi. Something like that. Now, this is written by Ki Sanbei. The animated series is actually directed by Tomoko Itoi, and the original one was in January 8, 2016, and it ended in March 25th, 2016, and it is a 12 episode series. So this is a spoiler review. So spoilers everywhere. You saw the title, you saw the thumbnail. I mean, it's spoilers. I really want to talk about this because I just got done watching the 12th episode of the series. Now, what is this about? It is about Satoru. Now, if I butcher these names, I'm sorry. It's about Satoru, and he has this ability where he can go back like 1 or 2 minutes if he feels something kind of itching him, something off. There's something off, and he goes back like 2 minutes, and it's not all the time. It's only rare instances, and he's able to kind of like see like, okay, what's going on? Like, what am I missing here? Something either bad's gonna happen, maybe something good, something like that. He calls this ability revival. He works at a pizza little place. He does these revivals here and there. We see this in the very beginning of the first episode when he actually saves a kid from dying from a truck driver who had a heart attack, and he ended up dying. So he's a hero, right? He's a hero. So this revival isn't even mentioned throughout the series. So if you're asking me, okay, this is a spoiler review, so tell me, how does he get this ability? They don't tell you. They don't tell you how he gets this ability. Does that hurt the series? No, it does not. It does not hurt the series. Not really. It bothers you because I think it is something that we would like to know why him, of all people, is able to go back 2 minutes into the past to see if there's something up with the future. Now, this is huge. This is huge because when I had no idea what this series was all about. People were recommending it. People were reviewing it. I said, I'll get to it when I get to it. And I finally got to it. I was hooked where it takes you because as much as, I think it worked, but I honestly didn't enjoy it as much as when we see Satoru and he's like 29 years old. You see him in the present, but he's able to go all the way in the past in 1988, or he's a little kid, and this is a certain date. I believe it's March 1st at first, and then it changes to March 3rd, where his classmate Kayo Hinazuki disappears. She's kidnapped. She's the first victim of 3 kidnappings that's spread throughout that little region in the elementary school, or in the school that he's in. 2 of his classmates, it's actually her and his buddy Hiromi who gets taken, and then it's also another girl from another school who gets taken. So there's an abductee in this school, and we all know who it is. It's Toretto, Brian. It's always been Toretto. I'll get to that in a moment. So this ability of him going all the way to 1988, and not only does he go back there once, he goes back there twice, and he stays there. This ability needs to be kind of like, I get it, I get the series saying, oh, it's supernatural, you either go with it or you don't, and I was along for the ride. Believe me, I was along for the ride. However, I would like at least to know a little bit, like, why does he have this ability, and how is he able to go back twice to try to save this little girl? I absolutely loved when he was a kid, because he's a kid, but he's still in that mature state of mind. He's still that 29-year-old in a little kid's body, actually in a 10-year-old body. So even his friend, who I really like, Kenya is like, he was a little bit suspect to me in the very beginning as well, but Kenya is like seeing this, Sotori, and he's like, dude, what is up with you? Like, one episode, he's like, are you really you? Or are you really somebody else? Are you a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude? Because you're tripping me out, man. But Kenya is very smart, and I love, there is a whole overall message of trying to do there's hero message, there's a believing in people that maybe other peoples don't believe in. There's friendship as a message, and the one thing that Satoru was not able to do the first time was he wasn't able to rely on his friends. I mean, his friends were the key to saving all three of the victims, where in the first time he went back, he couldn't save them. He couldn't save, definitely the one person he wanted to save was Kaio. His mama in here is awesome. In the very beginning, she gets murdered in the very first episode. I was like, okay, I don't really get to know her. But once you get to know her through all these episodes, like, you love them. Satoru's mom, like, she is so awesome. I love her character. I love how she was. She took care of him for 15 years when he was in a coma. Loved her. I loved the characters in here. The only problem I had was they really just focused on two of his friends. Of course, Kaio, because she's the main definitely the love interest, but she's the main girl. He's focusing on. They only focus on two of his other friends, Kenya and Hiromi. And I didn't know if that was a boy or a girl. And I'll get to that in a minute. But then you have his other two friends. I think it was Osamu and Kazu. And I kind of felt bummed that they weren't included in here because I was getting this kind of Goonies kind of feel. And this series had a lot of feels to me. It really captured me like Another. Like, I'm not talking about Another series. I'm talking about the anime series Another, which it was a mystery. You were trying to solve it. But the problem with this series is it was very predictable and you knew who it kind of was. Like, they didn't really... They kind of led you in some different paths, but we knew it was the fucking teacher. We knew it was the teacher. We knew it was that asshole right there. We knew it was Goku Yoshiro, and I knew it wasn't Yuki. Yuki was a weird little fellow, but I knew it wasn't him. It was like it had to be the teacher. The teacher just had way too much shit that access, and he was way too convenient that he was in certain areas. So revealing that it was the teacher at the end was definitely wasn't a shock for me. It definitely wanted me to see how they were going to do him and if they were going to kill him. I mean, if he was going to die. At one point, I thought he did kill Satoru, which I actually kind of would have said, all right, I would have went with it. And then him dying, but that wasn't the case. Satoru played him, and it was a good ending as well. This series was actually very, very entertaining. It was very good episodes, very heartwarming, a lot of great, beautiful animation. Reminded me of Eureka 7 a little bit with the animation process. Very beautiful cinematography, sceneries, great story. It got a little bit not dramatic and soap opera, especially with the mom and then the killer. Like, there was a lot of things going everywhere, but I think it was done nicely. I think with a lot of storylines that was introduced, they handled it very nicely. I loved Kaio. I thought Kaio was so awesome. She's such a little dick in the very beginning because you feel for her when you finally see why she's like that, because she's getting abused. Like, she breaks down at one point when she sees breakfast has been made for her by Satoru's mom, and oh man, it just like it broke me down. And then when seeing her die the first time, the present time when she died, I was like, okay, what's this with this girl? Yeah, he could have saved her. That's a bummer. But when you get to know her, and then she's like, I'm gonna give you these gloves the next day, and then she dies. It's like, god damn it, man. I don't think I could take her dying again. That's what really brought me into the storyline. There is a problem though. If you are all about romance, if you're all about couples, you want Satoru and Kaio to end up together because he's fighting so hard to keep her alive, and they have such precious, great moments together. However, that's not the case at the end. At the end, we learn that, of course, Satoru is in a 15-year-old coma, and Kaio has a baby with Hiromi, his friend who looks like a fucking female, but ends up being a lawyer. Oh no, actually, he ends up being a doctor. Kenya ends up being the lawyer. Like, I was just like, what? Where did this come from? Where the hell did this come from? But honestly, like, after a while, after it sank in a little bit, like, god damn, I kind of wanted those two together. It was fine. It was fine. I said, okay, I'm fine with it. Kaio deserves happiness. And it was that was one of the main stories. And that was one of the main things we wanted to see. But that wasn't that wasn't the main thing. The main thing we wanted to see, was Kaio living and with these three, surviving. Also Satoru catching the killer, and that was the teacher, and the teacher getting his due. And that we got all that nice, neatly bow. And of course, we did get introduced to Ari, who in the very beginning, she was like the only person who believed in Satoru's story that he didn't kill his mom, because he was set up in the very beginning. And then Audrey, of course, that nice little last shot where she's revealed, and you know he's happy to see her. He's about to cry, break down. That's even though Audrey's like 17 years old and he's like 29 at this point, so that's a little bit, you know, just saying, not there yet, right, Audrey? But it was a nice little moment. I really didn't feel any romantic feelings towards those two. Honestly, it was there, but like I didn't really. I wanted him with Caillou. I thought Caillou was pretty awesome. There was great moments in that. So overall, the series was very well put together. The score, the OST, was actually very well done as well. Was it like Clannad OST or Elfen Lied OST or even Angel Beats OST? Not necessarily. It definitely delivered on what it needed to deliver when these, like, you know, sentimental scenes, these heartbreaking scenes. But it wasn't all too glamorous and glorified, or like, you know, just wasn't too remarkable in my case. But it suited the series on its own, and it does lift it a little bit higher when it comes to the standard. Like the OST does a lot for an anime series, and I thought it did a great job with it. Like I said, very beautiful to watch. I thought it was really, I never felt a point where I said, oh my god, the animation looked terrible on that scene. Maybe there was couple scenes where they could have fixed just a little hair, but honestly, it was very beautiful to watch. It was very great. I thought the story was great. I thought the mystery involved at first it was really good, but then it starts becoming predictable towards the middle and the end. I thought all the characters were fantastic. I thought our lead Satoru, like, I want to know what's the deal with this guy, because he didn't seem like he had any motivation in the very beginning of this like series, but then like you just see him really become a different character towards the end of this. Sure, I would have loved to want to know what's with the revival thing. I actually would have liked him with Caillou, but it is what it is. But overall, when it comes to Erased, is it a masterpiece? It's not a masterpiece in my opinion, but it's a very fantastic series to watch. It's one of the best series I've seen. I think it does get boggled down a little bit towards the end. I think it does not lag. I don't want to say lag. It just gives you too much towards the end. I think it could have been shortened up a little bit. I don't think this needed to be a 12 episodes anime. It could have been 11 episodes, and I think that would have been perfect. But overall, I think Erased did his job. It's one of them. Yeah, I'm so happy I watched it. I thought it was fantastic, honestly. I thought it was really, really great. There was just a few things personally I would have changed about it. Of course, that coupling, it still kind of bothers me a little bit, but overall, I thought it was really great, and I thought the ending was safe. It was safe. But I did like the ending and how he tricked his teacher. So overall, Erased. Definitely recommend it. Check it out. It is only 12 episodes. I say only, but that's great. That's a great I like anime series that stick with that 12 episode mind frame and don't go overboard to make it a long lasting anime. But overall, 25 episodes, they actually just stick to that 12 episodes, and you could tell a great story with 12 episodes. That's the problem with Legend of Korra. Shots fired. But overall, it's Toretto, Brian. It's always been Toretto. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. Like the video if you like it, and comment below. Those Dragon Ball Super review is coming on its way. I'm starting to rewatch that, and then I was trying to get back to Star Wars Rebels. But overall, my anime game. This is one of the animes in the book, so I could put that down. It's a little bit late. Better late than never. But overall, Erased, pretty good anime. I would watch a couple episodes again, but I don't think I'd watch the whole series as a whole again. But maybe I would, because it was really a great series, and it is very rewatchable. So, I'm Dan Mackey Daniel Son. I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good one.